guys, welcome back to my channel. So a new school year has begun. I hope you're all doing well so far. I just had my first midterm today and I feel like I have some great tips to share with you guys with regards to studying for tests and exams and all that stuff. I am in my 4th year of university and I feel like I have a lot to offer if you guys are starting university, or even if you're in high school still, probably high school and beyond, this will be helpful. And if you're not there yet, one day you'll get there. But these are the tips that I use when I'm studying. Let's start. Basically, when I know I'm about to have an exam, so like the week before my exam, that's when sort of everything starts for me. I don't have enough time to like be studying like 3 weeks in advance. Like that just doesn't work for me. And also I don't really retain information like that. Like a week before is even stretching, honestly, with everything going on in life and other classes and everything like that. So I usually start studying a week before. And with studying that happens a week before, it's usually just like reviewing everything we've talked about in class. So I'll just go through all my notes and back to like the very basics of note taking. I take all my notes by hand. For me, this has proven to be a much better way of taking notes in the sense that I can remember things better, but I know that there are certain classes, I've had classes in the past where either the prof lectures too fast, or they don't put their lecture slides online, so if you don't get it in class, like you're not getting it, so then I would type my notes. That consciousness of having physically written it down, that really helps me to remember things better. And as we get into more tips, the writing of things down really does help me. So that is the first thing I start doing a week before. I start reviewing my notes, going over like important things. This is when I'll highlight, color code, all those things. I'm not huge into like color coding my actual notes. To me, that looks messy. I don't like the way it looks. So normally I'll write in pen or pencil, and then I'll go through with just a simple yellow highlighter. I'm very basic when it comes to studying. At that point as well, at 1 week, I'll start rewriting my notes if I feel like there's a lot of hullabaloo. Okay, I'm gonna use that. Like sometimes you have profs or classes where like there's a lot of like fluff, like a lot of just random information that you probably don't need to know. At this point, I'll sort of separate like my notes from like what's important and what's not, and then also I'll incorporate any readings that we have, so then I'll just kind of like combine them, and that's at 1 week. That's sort of like when I start getting things going. During this time, I'm a huge fan of classical music. I really am. I love it. I think that it's really calming, and for me it's not even like, I don't know if it does improve your memory, I don't know if it does any of that stuff, but for me it's really nice to have like some sort of background noise. Leading up to the exam, every time I study, I'll play the same classical music. I do the Spotify Intense Studying playlist. That's a great playlist. It's like having these external sort of stimuli that sort of get you in the mood to study. And I drink a lot of water when I'm studying. There's 2 reasons for this. First of all, it's really just generally important to hydrate, but it also forces me to get up and go to the bathroom, because I'm the type of person that I'll get so fixated on like a section of my studying that I'll be stuck at it for so long that's like not even helpful. I'm not even learning anything at this point, and I'll just be sitting there. So having water forces me to get up, go to the bathroom, come back, and have like a new approach to things. I'm not really big into like rewarding yourself, like, oh, I ate a salad today, I can have now a chocolate bar. Like I don't believe in that. That seems like bullshit. Like you want a chocolate bar, eat a chocolate bar. You want a salad, eat a salad. Like I don't really get that. So, but for when you're studying, I do like to sort of like break up my studying into chunks. And normally the best way to do this is just like by lecture or by topic. And that way, after every time you're finished, get up, walk around your apartment, walk around your bedroom. For me, it's all about like mentally preparing myself for my exam and not going crazy in the process, because that, my friends, is a challenge. When you're actually studying, one of my favorite tips is to connect your concepts to your real life. Now for me, this is really easy because I'm studying psychology, so it's something that's really applicable to like my daily life, but I know for other topics it's maybe a little bit harder. You're studying physics or chemistry or all those things, even mathematics. I know that's harder to do, but you're still able to, with memorization, create like little word games or little like word associations. So like for example, looking at the root of a word, if you have something that you're like, Emily, this literally has no association to real life, it's a formula or it's something else, girls, ladies, gentlemen, whoever's watching this, create a song. I'm not kidding you, this works, and I do this. This is like my last resort. If there is a topic or something that I cannot remember for whatever reason, there's just something I cannot remember, I create a song. So now this, I'm gonna give credit where credit is due, because this is inspired by the Hannah Montana episode where she is learning the bones of the arm, the different bones of the arm, and she sings it to the tune of Nobody's Perfect. This is a classic episode. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend. So I do sing to myself a lot when I'm studying, and I probably look like a crazy person, but that's why I don't study in public places. I study at home. That's another thing too, like find an environment where you feel like you can be productive and focus, because that's what you really need to do. For me, I don't feel like I can focus or be productive out like at a coffee shop or in the library or with friends. Like I cannot study with friends, like for the life of me. No, like study groups do not work. I always end up like talking about the randomest stuff. So I like to study on my own in my house at this desk. That's where I feel the most productive. But find your place where you feel like you can get the most work done. I think at the very root of it all too, like you have to pay attention in class. Like there's no games you can play. Like when it comes to a test, I really don't believe that the way we do testing now is like the most accurate representation of like your understanding, your knowledge, your intellect. Like I really don't think that like a test could tell you how smart you are. I think that's like absolutely stupid, but that's the game you have to play. This is the way it is at this present time, and you have to play this game. So learning how to master it is really important. All these things I'm showing you guys, all these things I'm talking about, there's no shortcuts, because it's all memorization. And like people cram the night before exams, and I will tell you right now, they never do well. And if they do well, like on one exam, they're not going to do well on the next one. So don't do that. You really have to take an interest in what you're learning. It makes it a lot easier to like actually care. And I think like in high school this is harder, because obviously like you have to take certain classes. It's really, you don't have really all that much choice. But in university, like, take courses that you are genuinely interested in, and you will find that studying is a lot less painful and that you're able to memorize a lot more when you actually care about the topic. I have literally had semesters where, in certain courses where I did not go to certain classes very often, and I will tell you that that never goes well. Don't go to class and just like be on your computer and go on Facebook. Like that's why I talk about like handwriting your notes. It's so important to pay attention. I have a class this semester that's 4 hours, okay? The last hour, literally excruciatingly painful, but I just remind myself it's only 4 hours of my day. It's only 4 hours of my day, okay? You can get through this, and then you can do whatever that you want for another hour after this. You can do whatever you want. If you're just going to class and not paying attention, like don't fucking go. Like you're wasting space and you're being annoying. I have so many people in my classes who sit and they just go on Facebook, and it's like, why are you here? Like honestly, why are you here? Get out. The other thing, and I think this is like probably the last thing I want to talk about, is when I'm studying, I always have like a stack of scrap paper beside me. And this is a part of muscle memory for me. So if there's a term also that I can't remember, I have a couple different options that I mentioned already. Sometimes I will try to make associations to my real life. Sometimes I'll make a song about it. But the other thing is, sometimes I'll literally write it out like 1,000 times. I'll just keep writing it, keep writing it, keep writing it, keep writing it until it's like in my brain and I can't get it out. And then the other thing I would say is, if you're going through your notes, like this is why it's good to start studying a week before your exam, because if you go through your notes and you see in your notes like there's a big section where like there's a gap, or you don't understand what you've written, or you don't understand the lecture notes or whatever else, if you give yourself a week in advance before the exam, you have also a week to ask questions. So you can email your prof, you can email your TA, or whoever else you can email, and ask like, hey, I don't understand this, or go visit them after class if you're in high school. Like, get clarification, because if you're studying the night before, like if you email your prof, they're literally not going to respond to you. Like at that point, nobody cares, because they obviously know that you don't care either. That is everything that I have to talk about with studying. I hope this was helpful, and I hope that maybe if you guys implement some of these ideas and tricks into your own studying routines, that you could do better in your classes, you can just freaking ace those tests. And yeah, so let me know down below your #1 most helpful studying tip, okay? Because we all need the help. We all need to help each other out, okay? And yeah, thanks guys so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon. Bye!